Feel free to check out my TeePublic after the video, and support me on Patreon. Watch till the end of the video for more. Hello everyone, welcome back to my Attack on Titan retrospective. Last time I talked about the franchise's beginnings from Hajime Isayama's early work and rise to fame as a mangaka, as well as what it was about Season 1 that just instantly clicked with audiences around the world. Oh, did I say franchise? Well, during the 4-year hiatus between Seasons 1 and 2, we've gotten a plethora of different kinds of Attack on Titan spin-offs, such as the prequel, Before the Fall, which is no longer canon, Attack on Titan Junior High, where the cast of characters are middle schoolers, No Regrets, which acts as a Levi origin, the live-action Attack on Titan movies from Toho that finally came out and are actually not bad at all, It was safe to say that the Titan train was still going strong, especially as the manga was still going during this 4-year period. In fact, there were also 2 compilation movies that made up the first season, and the second one even had a preview of Season 2. But why such a long wait? Well, part of the reason was so which studio could have more material to adapt, cue the Gintama clip, and because Season 1 was so experimental that the production was actually a bit of a nightmare. And WIT decided to wait until they had both the skill and money to adapt future parts of the manga after the assault on Stohes. One thing I failed to cover was the amount of the animation errors that got touched up for the Blu-ray releases. You can really tell they were rushing the hell out of the series as it was going, but surprisingly it didn't stop the show from becoming such a massive hit, as they were tinkering with technology that was still relatively new at the time. In fact, Season 1 was originally going to be all CG until someone who wasn't even part of the staff came up and asked, why not just do digital animation? And that one random person made a huge difference. But with that out of the way, with Season 1 of Attack on Titan setting a rather high standard, how does Season 2 follow up? Well, the short answer is, holy shit, this is even better than before! Long answer, Season 2 of Attack on Titan aired from April 1st to June 17th of 2017, covering chapters 35 to 50 in a span of 12 episodes, adapting the Clash of the Titans arc. We begin to see the fallout of that insane cliffhanger Season 1 left us on for 4 years. Unless you're like me and read the manga cause you're impatient. But before we can truly find out what's really going on here, we gotta get some stuff out of the way first. See, you can't just dive into the dessert without eating your meat and potatoes. We find out that during Eren's battle against Andy and Stohes, Wall Rose has been breached and Titans are roaming. But how can that be possible? Did the Colossal and Armor Titans show up again? Not exactly. Instead, okay, what the fuck? I remember seeing this moment in the manga and I was just speechless. What is this King Kong looking motherfucker doing here? This is a Titan? Why is it a monkey? And how can it talk? Hey look, it's Peanut. This was such a weird moment, and looking back, I can only appreciate just how intentionally off-putting it was. In a way, Attack on Titan is a lot like Space Runaway Ideon, in the sense that as soon as you think you understand everything that's going on, the series just throws another curveball that leaves you questioning everything again and again. And honestly, I love it for that. It's such a great way to not only challenge the viewer, but also encourage them to think for themselves, while also leaving little pieces of the bigger picture at hand. Such as when after a badass scene with Sasha, we stop by Connie's town and see that it has been destroyed, with not a single human in sight. And not for the reason you think, as we see a Titan who bears a striking resemblance to Connie's own mother as she even welcomes him home. Fucking chills, man. Anyway, the Survey Corps rendezvous at a castle, only for Curious George to come back and sends Titans after them. But Dunstan's gotta check in, so he leaves. I gotta say, this entire sequence at Castle Edgard is just brilliant, as our heroes are confined in such a tight area, meaning death could come at any corner. All while Reiner gets bit in the arm and walks it off like the fucking Chad he is, literally doing a fireman's carry on a Titan that's like twice his size, all for it to build up to the reveal that there is yet another Titan shifter in their ranks. Now, this is another thing I greatly appreciate about Season 2. We know everything we already need to know about Eren, Mikasa, Armin, and a few others from Season 1, but some of the more memorable characters like Sasha, Connie, Krista, and Amir, who barely got much screen time, really get their time to shine here. And there's a lot of effort put into their development, which only cements them further as major key players in this epic story. especially when it comes to several character dynamics like Amir and Krista, who we find out that her real name is Historia, but more notably, Reiner and Bertolt, and holy shit. Okay, in case it wasn't obvious, I am spoiling the hell out of Attack on Titan in this retrospective series, and what I'm about to talk about is some actual top tier shit. So if you haven't watched Attack on Titan,
what's wrong with you?
I am giving you 5 seconds. At this time, I cannot name another moment in this entire show that not only holds up incredibly well, but still manages to shake me to my very core as much as this scene. While Season 3 has its fair share of highlights and Season 4 is filled with very impactful moments in itself, they all, in a way, owe themselves to this scene. The scene where Reiner and Bertolt reveal themselves as the Armored and Colossal Titans is easily one of the most emotionally powerful scenes I've ever witnessed in fiction. Reiner started off the story as almost like a big brother type of character. He was a guy who wanted the best from his comrades and even went out of his way to place them before himself. As for Bertolt, he may not be as strong-willed as Reiner, but he's also the guy who's always at his side. Because of these intimate human connections these two have made with their comrades, you just feel the deep remorse and emotional struggle that they're trying to overcome. Not long before Reiner decides to fulfill his unknown mission, only to then be attacked by Mikasa, leaving the two warriors no choice but to transform. It's also worth noting that during this scene, you also feel just how shocked Eren is as he's trying to settle in the fact that his own comrades were responsible for what happened on that day 5 years prior, being the reason why he is on this path he set himself on. And not only what this scene means from a writing standpoint, I'll talk more about that when I get to Season 4, but the voice acting, framing, and music really hit home just how heavy this scene is. All for it to be followed by a kick-ass fight with Eren and Reiner utilizing actual mixed martial arts. I want to give this anime a 10 out of 10 right fucking now because of this. But, in contrast to the beautifully animated fight between the Attack and Armored, the Survey Corps fight a very bad-looking CGI Colossal Titan. Okay, it's not that bad, but it just looks so out of place. The frame rate is very choppy, and honestly, it's a major step down from how it looked in Season 1. There, he looks so menacing, but here, he just kinda looks like a wimp. Look, I get it, it's a time situation, but at this point, I think we could have waited a little longer, and I know there's a couple of 2D shots, but hey, there's a lot worse out there. This then brings us to the final quarter of the season, where Reiner and Bertolt have taken Eren and Amir. Also, there's this scene where Mikasa and Armin eat this snack bar looking thing very aggressively, and it's kinda awkward. And while watching this for the first time, my Crunchyroll glitched and actually rewinded the scene a little. So I just watched these two eat snack bars for like a solid minute or so, and it was very weird. Anyway, while the warriors carried out their mission, they were being pursued by the Survey Corps. By the way, Erwin Smith is fucking goated. Not only because he was able to pull an incredibly insane plan that involved luring Titans toward their enemies, while also putting everyone's lives at risk, but the man gets caught by a Titan who bites his arm off, and he still demands that his team charges onward. Absolute legend. And he's the one that helps free Eren from the warriors. But more about Erwin another time. Also worth noting that we definitely start to get more of an impression that Reiner and Bertolt are just people who are following orders and truly didn't mean for any of this to happen. Again, more about this another time. Then Eren comes face to face with the very Titan that ate his mother. Hannes tries protecting him and Mikasa, almost as a means to make up for his mistake back in Season 1. Eren desperately tries to transform without any success whatsoever, only for Hannes to meet his demise. As things are hopeless, Eren and Mikasa share this very beautiful and emotional moment together. All before Eren decides to get up and just straight up punches the Titan, and all of a sudden, he's able to control all the Titans in the area, and then commands them all to kill the Smiling Titan, and sends them after Reiner and Bertolt. This moment right here was super hype, and made for a fantastic and mind-blowing conclusion to this arc, as we're left with even more questions about the world around our characters. ending things off with a man coming out of the back of good old Caesar here, leaving us only a small taste of what's to come. Now, if you ask me, this is where Attack on Titan really started to come into its own. If you thought things couldn't get any better after Season 1, Season 2 comes in and blows all expectations out of the water. One very subtle improvement I want to point out is the art style and animation. It's a lot more detailed, defined, and not as glossy as Season 1, and it totally works. I really love how there's a lot more focus on its supporting characters this time around, as they really manage to elevate and escalate the plot and push it to some very high points. Not a single moment in the season felt wasted. Well, except for maybe the snack bar scene, but other than that, the pacing of the season was just excellent as it manages to deliver so much information in 12 episodes. Everything about the first season that made it so great got turned up to 11 here, and you can really feel the passion from Wit Studio. Overall, Season 2 of Attack on Titan is just phenomenal. And stay tuned, as next time in this retrospective series, I will break down Season 3. In the meantime, if you like what you see, then definitely consider supporting me on Patreon, where for a single $1, you can get access to my Discord server. Other than that, you can also get early access to videos, exclusive content, commission video requests, and receive a t-shirt of your choice from my TeePublic, like this gym shirt based on Attack on Titan. And once I reach enough patrons, I'll do a video covering several unmade Godzilla films, so if that's something you like to see, then go support me on Patreon. Also want to give a colossal shout out to Cole for editing once again and always doing the superb work. And go ahead and check out my other videos about Attack on Titan. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and this is TitanGoji, signing off.